CNN is collapsing right now. Legacy media is falling apart around us as we scream. Oh, Murdoch must be fucking freaking out. Because when you build a propaganda machine and then the machine fails to get results, the machine no longer works. So you gotta have to fucking remake the machine, right? So they're firing people in CNN. Viewership was 10 times less than on Fox on elections. They announced they're planning like 500 layoffs. Exactly. The machine is no longer working. They literally got embarrassed by, podcasts. Joe Rogan and Theo Vaughn had a bigger hold on the audience than fucking legacy media had at the moment. Like literally currently. It's just roasted. It's just roasted. Let's see.
How do Democrats?
Oh yeah, let's see. It's just ridiculous. So we're on Twitter.
Where media is.
Yay, layoffs, I know. But this is fucking nuts to think about. Yeah, the robot machine. Uh-oh. Hold on, I have to reset some of these resources. Hold up. Hold up. There we go. Yep. So it's crazy to think about, though. But legacy media knows that they're kind of Reposo right now.
Is going with Politico, now with Axios. You understand the environment so well. How do Democrats, and frankly, how does legacy media need to change the way it thinks about getting information? I mean, a lot of the voters who went out and voted for Donald Trump, that so many people are wondering what happened here, they're not watching, frankly, this show. They're not reading the New York Times.
Nope. I mean, I don't watch the news. Do you guys watch the news? No. The only time we watched the news is we were covering the live coverage of the election. And even then, we didn't even pay them half attention. We were looking for the numbers and knew each one was biased to their own thing. We knew Google wasn't going to release the numbers. We knew CNN wasn't going to release certain numbers. We knew MSNBC was going to release certain numbers. We knew Fox was going to release certain numbers. Like, when we were comparing them all, it was literally a fucking shit show of differences. If everyone was measuring off the same scale, it would be the same. Yes, exactly. I mean, we literally saw this happen live. What's the news? I thought we were watching YouTube. Perfect example. And we hate to say it, but it's older people who watch news on the TV. My mother doesn't really even watch this. She watches YouTube. Yes, I watch the news. You do, like, on a regular basis? Okay, so we got one news watcher. That's good. So we got one enjoyer compared to a full list of non-enjoyers. But it takes that one enjoyer. Is there anything specific you enjoy or look for in the news? Because, like, my mother now no longer has cable. She has a direct streaming TV. So she chooses to watch what she watches, and most of the time it's not news. A lot of the older people are the ones who consume legacy media, cable, television, and what happens to old people? Well, they die. They kind of die.
Times they're not consuming media that way. And the Trump campaign found those voters where they live. So how do Democrats need to change the way they communicate to voters?
Yes, it updates me on the market interest rates, regulations that could impact me. But so you don't follow like the Fed for actual interest rates and stuff. You follow the news. That's okay. All right, I would probably follow the Fed because they control the interest rates and regulations. I'm sure there's a better place where you can get regulations that are up and coming and being planned directly to you instead of hoping the news reports something that could happen, right? There's got to be more efficient places to get this stuff. That's what I'm saying, though. Like, you're not watching it every day for that exact news. You know, interest rates don't get adjusted typically on the daily. You know, seems like you're cherry picking. You think so? I think it's just a big sensational thing. You know, like, I've listened to the scanners in the city and then watched the news. There's so many things that aren't reported that are actually happening. The only thing they do report are things that will have people being like, "Wow, wow, wow!" I just saw some of this reporting. There was a car crash. You know, the only thing they reported about the car crash is car crash leaves 2 children dead. That was everywhere. The children dying. You know, I don't know what's important till I see it. But that's what I'm saying, though. I feel like there should be a more concise, like a freaking newsletter or something for commercial agents or anything about real estate housing that could be more direct to you and that could warn you earlier, unless you're just, you have to be consuming it because you either enjoy it, unless you're looking for the certain things. Not everyone gets their news from the trending Twitter page. I don't have to get my news from a trending Twitter page. I have literally apps on my phone that send me notifications about actual important things. I have my Instagram that pops up like before the Fed even does their announcements. I get notifications on Instagrams about like when the Fed's going to make their announcement, when the Fed makes their announcement, what was announced. So like, is the interest range changing? Lots of things like that. I don't have to watch the news. That would be like a waste of time. Like, waiting for them to comb through all these subjects for them to hopefully get to the one I'm interested in. Now, if you enjoy watching all the different stories and it's intriguing, oh, brother, consume. But I'm just making a comparison. Like, legacy media, I feel, is dying because it's not as efficient, you know, and people are getting their info from so many different sources nowadays, you know. Yeah, I'm subscribed to specific real estate news websites like CoStar, and Real Deal's also a good one. Ooh, yeah, man. I feel like there's got to be more efficient ways. But I mean, some people enjoy it. Like my mother watch the news just to watch, you know, background noise to have something there, you know.
If you think that's
But she didn't really pay attention a lot of time.
For sure. I mean,
unless it was something that interested
her. Grips with legacy media is just not as important as it thinks it is.
Oh,
it is to you. It is to me. That's a relatively small group of people who rely on us.
Did you see his face? This dude on the left is not happy with that statement. It reminds me of that one meme where the dude's crying but holding the happy face. I feel like that's him right now. He's just crying.
You, it is to me. That's a relatively small group of people who rely on us for their information. And you have to go into the world as it is, not as you wish it to be. And basically, the way people get information...
That's true. You have to go to the world as it is, not how you wish it would be.
Shattered into 20, 30 different pieces. And so if you just look empirically at the numbers, Joe Rogan's more important than any of us. He just has a much bigger, hyper-connected...
Wait, no shot.
Audience that listens.
Did you hear him sigh, bro?
And so if you just look empirically at the numbers, Joe Rogan's more important than any of us. He just has a much bigger, hyper-connected audience that listens to his every word. So maybe listen to Joe Rogan and kind of understand, like, what is he talking about? What are the guests that he has on? What are the issues that they care about? Realize that the gravity of
for legacy media
discourse is now taking place on X. It's not Fox. X is what matters. Elon Musk is now, I wrote about this yesterday, arguably the most powerful civilian in the history of the country. He controls information flow. He controls multiple businesses. He has the president's ear. He's going to be in charge of some newfangled organization to gut government spending. We've not seen a person with that kind of clout across those sectors. But where his real power comes from is X. People thought he was an idiot when he bought X because he lost a lot of money. He's got a lot of money. And now he happens to have the most powerful platform on the right, and politics is downstream from information.
That's crazy. Yeah, he lost. Yeah, he was an idiot for buying Twitter. Sure, but Joe Rogan doesn't have market updates, just interesting guests. Exactly, but they don't care about that, bro. You gotta understand. This machine doesn't give a shit about that. There are special finance channels for that kind of news. But the propaganda machine, legacy media, cares about your attention and being able to influence your opinion. Now the machine is broken. People aren't paying attention. They're not getting influence because a lot of these networks had their polls that predicted Kamala was a winner for sure. Kamala's got this down. And then when it happened, they all got egg on their face. You know, it's just like. So, I mean, for specific financial news and market updates, there's literally specific places you can go for that. But, like, just average legacy media, like the show Morning Joe, a show in the morning for people getting ready for work or, you know, working from home watching, catching up on the morning news, they're not able to influence it. Yeah, like the news. Exactly, but we're not getting to the point. They could care less about what they inform you about. They care more about being able to influence your opinion, you know? So if it's interesting guests and shit like Joe Rogan, you act like they're not going to switch this car around and try something, you know, like that because they're losing money. What's more important? Money. Money. Not your information. Money and power. So they're losing the power, they're losing the money. Things have to change.
And there's just a whole new information ecosystem out there. So for us, for you, for Democrats, for Republicans, you have to understand that you now are going to have to basically navigate 20 or 30 different parts of the ecosystem if you want to connect with the American people.
Holy shit! Bro, they're having a whole fucking web chat. Is this like a we're all gonna get fired chat? Holy shit! Wow, I thought it was just 2 of them. There's like 20 of them now. See, this is where like millions are going. You know, Mr. Krabs, money, 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 money. What is even considered legacy media is just something on TV. Basically, all the news channels Murdoch owns, like all the news networks, are basically what's considered legacy media. That's how you get your information to consume. That's how they're supposed to be unbiased reporting. But we all know every network has its own bias. The system is collapsing. No one's paying attention to them. You know, high entry barrier media, pretty much. You know, support group vibes. This is a big ass support group, bro. 100% you attacker. This is we're all gonna get fired. Let's all chip in, guys. Let's all show them that we're important.
And people who vote.
Dang, that's wild. That's wild. What's the barrier? Just the amount of money? Yes. Yes. CNN will axe top stars in layoffs that'll see hundreds fired. Anderson Cooper makes $20 million a year, reportedly. He's going. Out of here. I don't know who she is, but she makes $6 million a year. Guess what? Out of here. Damn. They are cutting. They are cutting. MSNBC's ratings have cratered 50% since the elections. Wow. There it is. So then Joe Rogan's legacy media, he's richer than any. Right now he is. Right now he is. The fact that it's not just that, but it's the fact that Trump can go on there for 3 hours and it's not a fucking hyper edited thing. It's not a super sensationalized thing. It's him just chatting for the most part, to be honest. It's like literally just chatting. They're chatting, they're bullshitting. Fuck, I think he was telling Joe about fucking some story about when he saw Elon Musk satellites. I said, is that an Elon? You know, then he was talking about some other stuff in his past. You know, and he was like, oh, I thought I lost him then. But oh, he came back and we started talking about other stuff. The thing is just that feels much realer and better than a 5 minute curated interview by CNN. At least to me, it does. Maybe to some others, it doesn't. It feels just as phony as that. But I feel like that feels a lot better.